Welcome to the National Digital Car Seat Check Form. My name is Jennifer Booge and I am the Field Training Coordinator for the NDCF. In this tutorial video, I will be providing you with a walkthrough of the NDCF and will be highlighting some of the key features that are going to help make your data collection process easier. Next, I'd like to introduce you to our team. First up, I have Amy Artuso, who is our Program Manager for the NDCF, and then myself, who provides field training and support for technicians out in the field. We also have Joe Powell from Tennessee Tech University, who provides all of the technical support, and Adele Polson from Westat, who provides the data analysis. Our program partners consist of the National Safety Council, who's responsible for the program management as well as field training. We receive program support from NHTSA as well as AAA, Northern California, Nevada, and Utah. Our subject matter experts come from the National Child Passenger Safety Board, and Tennessee Tech University iCube is responsible for the software development and the maintenance of the NDCF. And finally, our data analysis comes from our team at Westat. The NDCF is a free resource available to all certified child passenger safety technicians. It's been developed by technicians for technicians and is used to record and track seat check activity, which provides technicians and program managers with vital information for program support and evaluation. We have users in all 50 states and continue to approve new accounts on a daily basis. Some states have required the use of the NDCF, while other states have provided it as an additional resource for their technicians to track their seat check activity. The NDCF includes a tiered access system. As shown here, use of the NDCF by technicians is at the foundation of this resource. Currently certified child passenger safety technicians who have created accounts have access to their seat check data. Program managers, once approved, also have immediate access to real-time data collected through the NDCF. Program managers at the state level also have access to all of the state data that's collected within their state. And then vehicle and car seat manufacturers also have access to the information that's collected about their product. Indian Health Services, or IHS, injury prevention coordinators also have access to the data that's collected through IHS in their respective areas. Program managers can request an admin account by completing the administrative account request form and submitting it back to the NDCF program. Once approved, the program manager will have access to all of the data that's collected for that agency. The NDCF is available in 5 different platforms. We have our web-based platform at carseatcheckform.org. Next, we have 3 apps available for Apple, Android, and Amazon Kindle. And finally, we have our corresponding paper form. The app can be downloaded onto your device by going to your app store and searching Car Seat Check Form. Look for the green icon with the white car seat. Once you've downloaded the app onto your device, you can begin collecting your seat check data. The benefit to using the app out in the field is that it does not require the use of Wi-Fi or internet connection. All of the information is stored directly within the app, and once you bring your device back to a location where you have access to the internet or to Wi-Fi, you can simply upload that seat check data into your account. If you are new to the NDCF, it is a simple process to create an account. You want to go to the home page at carseatcheckform.org and select Create New Account. You'll complete the online form and accept the terms of use, and then you'll be required to upload a current copy of your technician certification card. This can be found on your CPS certification profile at cert.safekids.org, and you can simply click Print Wallet Card. Once you've completed that process, you'll want to watch for an acceptance email from info@carseatcheckform.org. It generally takes 1 to 3 business days for your account to be approved. The NDCF collects car seat check information in a simple 5-step process. We begin with the caregiver and event information, and then we move on to the child on arrival and car seat on arrival information. Once the caregiver has made changes to the car seat and has installed the car seat back into the vehicle, we will collect the on-departure information and will end the process by collecting the caregiver sign off. To begin collecting your seat check data, you will want to go to the homepage at carseatcheckform.org and log into your account. Once on the homepage, you can create a new check form, or you can search through already completed forms by using the month, day, and year of the seat check, or by utilizing the form ID number. Questions on the NDCF that contain an asterisk are required and must be completed. We have also included hover bubbles, which provide you with additional information on how to answer specific questions. The NDCF is a tool for collecting seat check data only. We do not collect any demographic information or PII on any of our electronic forms. If your program is required to collect that local level data, we encourage you to use a separate form to collect any of that caregiver information that you may need to collect. The NDCF program has provided you with a sign-in sheet under the Resources tab, and we have two different options available. We do have one with a general liability statement and one without. You will start creating your form by collecting the caregiver information. You'll manually enter in the city, and then you can select your state from the drop-down menu. Once you've selected your state, it will auto-populate a list of all of the counties within your state. So you can simply scroll through the list and find the county in which the caregiver resides. And then you'll be asked to enter in the zip code. Keep in mind that the zip code must be less than 10 numbers. When collecting the vehicle information, if the vehicle is older than a 2011, you will be required to manually enter in all of the vehicle information. If the vehicle is a 2011 or newer, you can simply select the vehicle make from the drop-down menu, and then it will auto-populate a list of all of the vehicles that were made by that manufacturer, 2011 or newer. Select the model of the vehicle, and then from that drop-down list, you'll also select the year that the vehicle was made. The trim level is an extension of the description of the vehicle. So for instance, if you had a Honda Accord and it was the LXI model, you would enter in LXI under the vehicle trim information. Check to Protect has been added to the NDCF to encourage caregivers to check for vehicle recalls. So while you're checking for a car seat recall, we encourage you to have the parent go to checktoprotect.org to see if they have a recall on their vehicle. If the vehicle has a recall, they will be provided with a list of dealerships in the area that will repair that recall for free. If you're new to using the NDCF, we do provide you with the opportunity to be able to practice using the NDCF before you're working with a caregiver. So if you go to the state's drop-down menu, at the very top of that menu, you'll see Practice. Please select the Practice option from that state's drop-down menu to ensure that that data does not get added to your state's data. And this provides you with the ability to be able to navigate through the NDCF and work through different scenarios so that you're comfortable using the NDCF prior to working with a caregiver. Now you'll want to select your agency from the drop-down menu. Simply start typing in the first 3 or 4 letters of your agency and select it from the list. If you're an independent technician, you can start typing in no agency affiliation. If your agency isn't listed, go to the agency menu and add your agency. The NDCF team will verify that that agency has not been already listed in the NDCF to make sure that your agency receives all of the data collected. The NDCF provides 2 liability statements, one in English and in Spanish. If your agency has a specific liability statement that you're required to use, you can request a custom PDF and have your liability statement added in both English and in Spanish. Once the caregiver has read the liability statement, you'll want to capture their signature, either on the electronic device or on a paper form. If this was part of a virtual seat check, you'll want to make sure that the caregiver has acknowledged receiving and reading the liability statement and has provided documentation agreeing to participate in a virtual seat check. The date of the inspection can be backdated but cannot be post-dated. Next, you'll want to enter in the event or inspection information. This provides you with an opportunity to describe how the seat check information was being collected, whether it was part of a one-on-one appointment or part of a seat check Saturday event. Make sure to document all other technicians that were attending to the caregiver. These are auto-populated fields, and you can simply start typing in the last name of the technician or the technician ID number. You do have the option of adding up to 3 additional technicians who may be assisting the caregiver. Select the state from the drop-down menu in which the car seat check was taking place, and then document how the caregiver heard about the seat check. Next, you'll want to identify if the seat check is part of a recertification and who is responsible for doing the data entry into the web page. We recognize that many programs utilize the paper form and then rely on an NDCF preparer to enter that information into the website. So this provides you with the ability to be able to track who is responsible for entering the information into the NDCF platform. Once you've completed all of that information, your form will be issued a unique form ID number, and you can begin adding children to your check form. First, you'll begin by collecting the child's age information. If the child is birth to 1 year old, it will prompt you to indicate how old the child is in months. Collect the child's weight in pounds and height in inches, and then you'll want to document how the weight and height were collected. Indicate if the vehicle was present and identify where the child was found in the vehicle. If no child was present, the NDCF will introduce skip patterns. And then you'll identify how the child was secured in the vehicle. Next, you'll want to identify where the car seat was located in the vehicle. If there was no car seat present, the NDCF will introduce skip patterns and will move you past all of the car seat questions. If there was a car seat present, you'll want to identify what general type of car seat was being used. Now we'll begin identifying car seat misuse. If there was no errors in the harness use and you select yes, it will simply move you to the next question. If you select no, it will provide you with a drop-down menu where you can indicate how that car seat harness was being misused. You can select as many of these options from the drop-down menu as you'd like. For question 11, you'll determine how that car seat was installed in the vehicle. Next, you'll document the recline angle of the car seat, and then you'll identify if the lower anchors were being used correctly. All of these questions default to NA, so if it does not apply to your situation, you don't have to click any options. You can just simply move to the next question. So for question 13 on the lower anchors correct, if you selected no, it would introduce a drop-down menu where you can identify what that misuse was with the lower anchors. Next, you'll want to identify any of the seatbelt errors. If you select no, you'll be prompted to indicate how that seatbelt was being misused. And the same thing with the tether. If you select no, you can simply select the options for tether misuse from the drop-down menu. The NDCF contains many situational questions that are all defaulted to NA. So if they do not apply to your situation, you do not need to answer those questions. So these would include handle position, load leg, anti-rebound bar, and so on. Once you've identified all of the misuse errors, you can now begin collecting the car seat information. We've provided you with a drop-down menu of all of the car seats manufactured in the US that meet FMVSS 213. So you can simply scroll through the list and find the manufacturer, and then you'll be required to enter in the model name and the model number. If you don't have that information, you can simply just enter in U in that field. There are several additional car seat questions that you'll be required to answer. You'll have to identify if the car seat has been expired, if it's recalled, if we have a history on the car seat, and if it's been involved in a crash. We have also provided you with hover bubbles to indicate additional information on how to answer those questions. And then we'd like you to determine how that car seat was registered. If you're using the web-based platform or you're using the app with Wi-Fi, you can select the NHTSA link to check for a recall on that car seat. If you don't have access to Wi-Fi or to the internet, we do recommend that you have a paper copy of a recall list with you. Once all the corrections have been made and the caregiver has been educated on the proper use of their car seat, you can now identify where the child and car seat were located in the vehicle. If the caregiver did not have a vehicle and this was a demonstration only, please indicate that by selecting Demonstration Only. You'll then want to identify what general type of car seat the child was leaving in on departure. Document how the child was secured and how the car seat was installed in the vehicle. You can select as many of those options from that menu as you'd like. Then you'll want to identify if this was the same car seat on arrival. If it was not the same car seat, it will prompt you to add in all of the new car seat information. And then you'll want to identify who registered the car seat for recalls. Was it the agency or the caregiver? This next question provides you with an opportunity to document whether the car seat was compatible with the vehicle. So for question 46, if the car seat is compatible with the vehicle, you would simply just select yes. If it was compatible but you had difficulty or you needed a new car seat because that original car seat was not compatible, you will be prompted to identify what the difficulties were that the caregiver encountered. And keep in mind that this is the caregiver's ability to install this car seat in the vehicle. So you want to make sure that you identify any of those difficulties that the caregiver may have encountered. Next, you'll want to document that the child was properly secured and the car seat was properly installed on departure. If there were issues or concerns with the installation or the securement of the child in the car seat, select No and enter in information in the documentation box. The documentation box is an open text field and provides you with an opportunity to describe in detail additional information that was not previously collected in the form. We've also provided you with a list of key talking points to share with the caregiver. Check the box next to each of the topic items that were discussed with the caregiver. The final step is to have the caregiver identify that they harnessed the child or the doll in the car seat and that they installed the car seat in the vehicle. And then finally, we'll capture the caregiver's initials. If this seat check was part of a virtual inspection, you can enter in VR to identify that it was a virtual seat check. And you can also identify if the information was collected on a paper form by simply typing in paper. If the caregiver provided a donation for a new car seat, you can simply select yes and then enter in the dollar amount of the donation. You'll also want to identify whether you gave the caregiver any educational materials. And then finally, we ask for a final inspection sign-off. We recognize that some programs do not require a final inspection sign-off, so this is not a required field. If your program does require a final inspection sign-off, you can have that instructor, that proxy, that senior checker manually enter in their first and last name in question 53. We've also provided you with an agency documentation box, which provides you with the ability to capture any information that's specific to your agency. For example, if you're required to collect income eligibility or insurance eligibility information, that would be information that you'd want to capture in the agency documentation box. You have the ability to save your check form in draft at any point throughout the inspection. You also will have the ability to toggle between pages of that seat check form. So if you needed to go back to verify information or to complete additional information, you can simply select the previous page button. When you're ready to submit your form, you'll just simply select that submit button. If you've attempted to submit your form and you have required fields that weren't answered, you will be prompted to go back and answer those questions. You can toggle between pages, and each of the questions that are required that did not get answered will be highlighted in red so that they're easier for you to find. Once you've answered all of those questions, you can resubmit your form. You can add additional children to the form by selecting the Add Child button. There is no limit to the number of children that can be added to the caregiver form. So for instance, if the caregiver arrived in a 10-passenger van with 8 children, you can add all 8 children to that caregiver's form. Here are a few reminders on some data collection basics. We want to make sure that you always double check your work. Once you've submitted your form, you will not be able to go back in and make any edits to the form without contacting us at info@careseatcheckform.org. And this really is to protect the fidelity of the information and also protect you as the technician and the caregiver. So if you need to make additional edits to your form once that form has been submitted, the NDCF program will be happy to make those edits for you, and we will date stamp the edits so that we have record of what was changed and what date that information was changed. Also, as a reminder, use the other field as a last resort, and I'll use this as an example on question number 8, where we're identifying the restraint type. If the child came in an all-in-one car seat, as you can see on this list, we do not have all-in-one listed, but if the child was 9 months old in a rear-facing all-in-one car seat, we would simply select the rear-facing convertible option. We do have some technicians that have chosen the other field and then manually entered in that all-in-one car seat, when really what they should have done is just selected the RF convertible option from the drop-down list. Because the NDCF contains many required fields, we do encourage technicians to pre-screen caregivers to capture the child's weight and height, as well as the vehicle and car seat information. All of the data collected through the NDCF is available to you in dashboards and raw data. You can view the national dashboards or your own personal dashboards, and then you have the ability to download your raw data in real time. We also provide you with additional information to sort through the data that's collected. For instance, you can sort through child restraint misuse, you can look at maps, you can look at car seat information, vehicle information, as well as our table tools. And we encourage you to navigate through the dashboards as well as the table tools to sort through your data. The National Child Passenger Safety Board has a web page dedicated to the National Digital Car Seat Check Form. On the cpsboard.org website, you'll find information about tutorial videos, how-to guides, and our frequently asked questions. The NDCF has been created by technicians for technicians, and any of the changes and updates to the form are really driven by the feedback that we receive from technicians in the field. We've provided technicians with the opportunity to contact us to provide form feedback as well as request technical support. You can do that by clicking on the links at the top of the menu bar on the home page, or you can call us at our toll-free number at 844-573-6531. The NDCF has been added to the newest edition of the CPS Technician curriculum. Instructors are encouraged to provide information about the NDCF and assist with account setup. Here is our contact information. If you need account support, you can reach out to Joe at info@careseatcheckform.org. And if you're looking for field support or additional information on training opportunities, you can reach out to Jennifer at training@careseatcheckform.org.